today's speaker and use case. Just a little quick history as people are still joining in. Dynamics User Group was started back in 1995. And if you think about it, it was grown already to over 45,000 community members. It is a free platform. It is basically for users by users. And that's the best way I can definitely look at it. Thinking about, oh, there we go. That helps if I can switch slides. Thinking about meetups, which is where you're at today. What are these meetups? Well, it's a place for Dynamics users or Power Platform users community to come together at a regional level and share ideas and use cases to help inspire and spark some of the positive things that come together when we all join forces and share ideas with one another. So your actions do matter. If you think you have a use case or something like that, please feel free. Ping me, Ernest, anyone else from the Dynamics user group. If it's not specifically on Dynamics or Power Platform, if it's not for government, maybe it belongs to a different channel, please understand that there are many channels out there for all of us to take advantage of. And again, this is free. So if you happen to use Business Central or any of our Dynamics 365 customer engagement tools, and that could be like our customer service aspect when we talk about resident management relationships and things like that, finance and supply chain, some of the behind the scene things as well, and also the Power Platform as well. So if you haven't joined yet and you want more information, QR code, go ahead, lift this your phone at the screen, capture that QR code, and it'll take you on to some additional information. Also, coming up for 2024 and 25, there are some meetups happening as well. Up in Canada, happening here, well, gosh, within the next week or so. There is a CE, BC, and Power Platform regional meetup happening up in Toronto. Same thing happening down in the Southeast in Tampa, Florida as well. And coming soon in February 2025, we'll be hitting Massachusetts. Also, we'll have more information of where March 2025 is going to be. Some additional information as well. Colorado is coming up in April, Ghana in July, Kenya in July as well, Ohio, Dublin, Ohio, Texas, and Canada as well. So please visit the website. Stay tuned for more information. There is lots of really cool Dynamics user groups events happening soon. And if you haven't already, please, May 13th through the 16th, DynamicsCon 2025, registration or sessions are open for submission. Oh, that was unexpected. There we are. Please, May 13th through the 16th, if you visit whackwackdynamicscon.com, not only can you submit sessions, but also plan to attend. I'm already trying to work with my manager to go. I'm not sure about you, Ernest, but I am. I think it's going to be really awesome. But with that being said, as we get in today, some of the rules for engagement, we do have a quorum on this call. So, hey, be courteous, contribute to the meeting, ask questions, and let everyone participate. Again, try to keep things polite in the chat. If you have questions, we'll be watching that as well, and perhaps may interject and see what we can do with those questions. There will be a section for Q&A towards the very end. So please keep that in mind. If you want to hold on to that question after the presentation and want to ask specific questions of our speaker or of Microsoft, please, by all means, feel free and we can get to that point. So with no further ado, I would love to hand the reins over to Babaloa over at Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. I mean, talk about like creating a Power Platform solution that has optimized the DBHDD resources, minimized admission bottlenecks, and improved basically outcomes, healthy outcomes. They're going to be showcasing what they did on the Microsoft Power Platform and what they implemented to help further things along. So Babaloa, over to you if you want to go ahead, take over the screen.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to tell our story. I would like to also introduce, recognize some of my the team I work with, they're on the call. So I do have some leadership here. I have Margie Crawford. She's the director of the OIT for DBHDD. I do have Susan Teders, who is the director, the software development manager for DBHDD, and also Fumi Adeshesan, who is my own direct boss. So let me introduce myself. I think I've introduced everyone except myself. So my name is Babalola Ogumbi, and I am the IT project manager for Office of Technology, DBHDD. And why we are definitely here is to tell you guys a little bit about how we've successfully been able to utilize the low-code tool. So the Office of Forensic Services within DBHDD had reached out to us they had had a manual process in which they had used more of a spreadsheet to track the individuals, I would say defendant, who are actually being evaluated and be sent by the court to DBHDD for more for resuscitation restoration purposes in regards to them finding them non-competent to stand trial and for them to get treatment. And however, we do have a waiting list for them to get into the hospital, but pending the way them getting into the hospital, if there was an opportunity for them to get treated and restored in the community, they had wanted them to use that opportunity to get into those various programs within the provider agency within the state of Georgia. So they needed some kind of application in which they could track individuals who were going to be referred to those programs, and also to carry out through their treatment in those programs to know what point they are in there, and for proper documentation and also tracking of the entire process. So as for the Office of Information Technology, we're committed to leverage the technology that will, a cutting-edge technology definitely, that will help us to serve our various offices within DBHDD. So the success we recorded using this tool, which we'll talk a little bit more about, is there was faster development time for this, because we needed something that will get the users can start using almost immediately. So and also immediate important tracking of referral process, definitely better referral review process, better documentation of defendants' progress, improved tracking of defendants' progress, and all cleaner data within the application. So our external stakeholders definitely are the Georgia State judicial system, and also the Georgia State service providers. And also we partnered with Microsoft when we decided that we're going to use the low-code solution. So we decided to use the Microsoft PowerPoint. So I'm going to have Susan give us the reason why we actually decided to go with this.
Yes, we currently are a .NET shop, and one of our biggest complaints from our users is it takes a long time to get a major application built and deployed. So we were looking for some new technology that would allow us to develop faster and get the product to our users quicker. So this was an attractive tool that we wanted to try out, and this is our first major application using this tools, and we were enticed by the out of the box features of filtering and sorting and search capabilities. And then the fact that you can use this on almost any platform, from mobile devices to tablets and desktop computers. So that's what attracted us to this platform, and we're hoping to use this as a base to expand our forensic development into multiple uses throughout the agency, because this is a high profile topic for our division right now. So we're definitely, our management is moving at a fast pace, and we need to be able to keep up with all the new programs that they're coming out with to address our forensic population. So
awesome. Thank you very much, Susan. So we decided to use the model-driven app, Power App, for the internal piece of it, in which the referrals will be, sent out to the providers, and the providers, we decided to build an application for them using the Power Pages, in which we will model, show a demo of actually how the internal piece actually works. So pretty much we do have some data that is being pulled into this application. It's just the read-only, which the individuals that are actually referred to the program, you can actually look at, see the individuals, and go from there to actually refer the individuals to various programs within the state. So we do have different sections for this. The referral is the major piece of it, in which the referral is actually being conducted. And these are all the people that have been referred. The reasons, where they are at in the referral process. So I'll walk you through the main referral. So we do go through, choosing which of the general, this general information is being entered, in which the code information, and all this is pulled from another application. So we have the read-only, in which they can actually pull this in, so they don't have to manually enter that data anymore. Let me see, code information. And also, then we move into the referral. They could actually upload the referral information itself, the referral, the package that might go with the referral itself can also be uploaded in there. So let me see, look here for information. So let me look at a defendant. All right. So for this, choosing the program type, which is the county, the referral date, let's just choose that. Referral, no. Transport order, no. So at this point, you could save this. Okay, so that tells us that this individual already has a referral within the application. So let me see. So, and also we can actually find out which referral, with referral, without referral. We can see the ones that, so okay, so 83 does not have that. They're still new. So let's go. All right, then we can move into the documentation. Here, if they do have any kind of documentation that needs to accompany that referral, we could actually save that, add that there. Let's say until And then we could save that and close. And with that information, it will be good to go to send to the referring. We could then submit that. So at this point, when this is sent, the referring provider will see that, and I will show you guys how that goes. Any questions on this? Let me move forward. So, and this is the internal piece of it. So this, we can send referral, and also after the referral has been done, we can actually monitor it to see how it's going, what other, track the, the progress of the referral. All right, so moving on forward, I will also show and this is we decided to do some screenshot for the external piece of this. This is the providers section of it. They can actually register. And one thing I did not did not show fully for in the internal piece, they also do have the the permission to approve all the access from the provider. So they have to put in an a request for to gain access into the application on the Power Pages, and this actually is where we can actually provide grant access for that.
Babs, I think you got a question there.
Yep, I was just going to interrupt and say there is a question.
Sure.
Yeah, Deandra, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi there. Thank you. Yeah, I had typed in there. I saw you were attaching, uploading a file with a record. Were you storing that in Dataverse or in SharePoint document library?
Sure, so I can answer that question. Deandra, we're currently using Dataverse to store these files as they're lightweight and not large in size. But we are aware that storing large files in Dataverse can be expensive. But for current needs, like this approach does work well for us. But yeah, these are smaller files currently, and it is being stored in Dataverse.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so this is the external piece of it, which is built on Power Pages. I'm going to just show you some pages on how. So users, which are the providers, can actually come in and register for these, clicking on Access Request, and actually clicking on Register, moving forward and granting access. They also have, they can actually choose which agency they're coming from, the program in which they're coming from, entering that fully, choosing that. And I think if Anurag wanted to say something on this in regards to, this was not, Anurag, you had wanted to say something on this, right?
Right, probably I'll touch on that once I speak about all the tools and techniques we've used. But yeah, I'll talk more about like the access request piece in Power Pages.
All right, cool. Thank you. So then they can actually type what kind of access that is. And we could, like I showed at the other end, we could go at the back end, review the access when it's submitted, and grant access for each program user that is asking for access. This is the view in which the provider can actually see all those on their queue for referral. All those individuals that defendants that has been referred to their program, and they can actually go in, review the referral and grant, see if they want to approve it, deny, or approve or deny the referral if they want to move forward.
Oh, that below, I think we lost your audio there, buddy. Ernest, was it just my headset?
No, it's not just you. And I won't tell him it's still out. And I don't know if he was asking us if we could hear him now, but we still can't hear you currently.
What? Technology issues? IT? Nah, exactly. Never happens. It's awesome being human. Battle resets. Is there anyone else from the
Anurag,
Georgia?
can you?
Yeah, I think Anurag, can you?
Sure, yeah, I think I can take it from here. Babs, can you move on to the next slide if you can hear me? So basically what it's trying to show was the screen where they do the referral admissions in the Power Pages. And these two screens that we see once they're admitted into the program, external users can enter progress notes for that admission. And then I think they can enter all these different types of progress notes that says regular and critical incident and discharge progress note. The only thing here that I can tell is that there's a workflow that goes along with the referral. So once they're in the program, they can get discharge, and that's when the progress note of type discharge is submitted. So once the external users, they submit a discharge progress note for this referral, the whole referral cycle is completed and is considered as program discharge. So that is these two screens you're seeing on the screen. Okay, yeah. And this is how the progress note form looks like. Yeah, we are capturing, yeah. Can you move on to the next one, perhaps? Okay. So I think that was all Babs wanted to present with the Power Pages and everything. Now, yeah, I didn't introduce myself earlier. So I'm Anurag. I'm the developer at DBHDD. Had the privilege of working on development of this project as part of the team. So far you heard from Susan and Babs about the business side of the Forensics Referral Program. I'd like to share a bit about our technical approach to building the solution with Power Platform. So as Susan and Babs mentioned earlier, our approach was primarily focused on low-code development, which allowed us to build quickly and efficiently without any extensive custom coding. So I want to share some of the key lessons we learned along the way, especially about setting a strong foundation, because while Power Platform makes it easy to start building the right way, it's also important to follow best practices from Microsoft and also any guidance from all the technical specialists to do the things right way. Since we're still like in the early stages of adopting Power Platform, we wanted to make sure we started off right. So from the beginning, we focused on carefully setting up our environments, defining publishers, and creating managed solutions. These steps might seem small, but they're really critical. So they will keep things organized and help you avoid issues down the line, making management and maintenance much easier. So in short, it's not about building quickly, it's also about building with a long-term vision. So now if you look at this slide, you'll see a word cloud highlighting all the key tools and components we use throughout the project, right? So a big part of why we chose Power Platform was its focus on the out-of-the-box features. So this allowed us to build faster and more efficiently compared to traditional development methods like .NET or any other language web applications. So we wanted to stick to out-of-the-box features as much as possible to take advantage of the low-code approach. But however, in areas like where out-of-the-box features couldn't meet specific needs or couldn't fully align the Power Platform way, we introduced custom development, like using tools and scripting languages like JavaScript, Liquid, and Fetch XML also to fill those gaps. So at the core, everything like you saw, it's all stored in Dataverse for secure data management. And our internal piece is done using model-driven Power App, and the external site is a Power Pages site. And we have used classic workflows and Power Automation extensively to streamline these workflows and automating tasks, and to also to connect different parts of the application.
We seem to, and we have another question. Just so you were aware, we have a hand up. I just want to give him an opportunity to ask a question if that was
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
I heard you were able to incorporate regular development programs. You said Java and a couple others. Was it difficult incorporating those languages to work within the Power Platform? Because I know that's one of the obstacles I'm kind of facing in my agency. We have a huge application development team that has built a lot of customized applications using Java within our environment that's connected to it's all developed on premise to an old database, and I'm trying to show them how we can kind of put them together and still work, but trying to start moving toward a more modern approach. So I haven't seen anybody that has said, oh yeah, we use Java, we use this language, and use this language to do some other things. So custom programming, regular programming capability incorporated with this is the first time I'm seeing this. So I was wondering how difficult was it to incorporate that and have it work seamlessly with the out-of-the-box product of the Power Platform?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. So what I mentioned is like since we're still in the early stages of adopting Power Platform, we are trying to like focus a lot on out-of-the-box features only in places like where we can achieve certain things. We are depending on other methods like scripting languages. So we haven't used anything with C# or Java. The thing that we are using JavaScript for doing like a hide and show or pre-populating a data in a drop down, those kind of minimal functionalities. But we're using Liquid and Fetch XML like for filtering data to query data from Dataverse, and also Liquid to create a lot of custom HTML content on the Power Pages site. So we haven't gone that far, like no C# or Java yet, but I know there's like custom plugin development. That's when all these C# and things come into picture. But yeah, we our primary focus is to still stay focused on the out-of-the-box feature and slowly adopt Power Platform. And maybe in future we will have some custom plugin developments that will involve C#.
Thank you very
So
much.
did that answer your question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Honor.
Yeah. Thank you. They kind of helped me kind of put their fears at ease. Like, no, you can still do stuff. You know, we can just slowly move over, so they're not too afraid of it. Thank you.
And Eric, another question that asks, what is Liquid?
So I'll let Jeff or like or like one of you answer, but that's scripting.
I'm going to I'll put a link in chat to it, but it's basically our it's kind of like PowerFX and the Power Apps. It's our coding platform for tailored Power Pages. And like he said, I think also you can blend in your own JavaScript libraries and CSS as well. But Liquid's kind of a language there that gives you access to objects like the user logged in, their roles and stuff like that that you can read and filter tables with.
Right, and it has a specific syntax and tags that we need to use. Jeff will provide that link in the chat. So I'll just continue if you're good there. One of the unique aspects that Babs showed earlier was the Power Pages setup for assigning web roles. So currently we are on an enhanced data model, and even if you want to assign a web role in Power Pages to a user, we will have to go to the management portal and then assign the web role. Since we want to not have that burden on us, like as IT, and want to give that to the users from DBHDD still to review and approve that request, we have built a layer to expose that functionality in the back office or the internal model-driven app that you saw earlier. So that approach will there the back office staff can review the request and then assign a web role, and after that they can approve or deny the overall the access request that comes in from the Power Pages site. And only after that, only authorized users can gain access to the external facing site. So that was the piece Babs was showing in screenshots and in the model-driven app. So yeah, looking ahead, our goal is to make Power Platform more accessible for more makers and support collaborative development within the organization. So that by doing this, we are setting up the platform to support more makers and also encourage new app creation. And also we have plans of migrating some of our legacy apps to Power Platform. So this is our vision for future steps. And our next steps also include setting up a center of excellence to help admins and also standardize best practices. And at the same time, we also are trying to integrate Power Platform with Azure DevOps to streamline development and management. Finally, I think I'd like to thank DBHDD OIT for giving us this opportunity to work on this project. And special thanks to Robert, Jeff, for guiding us in the beginning stages, which really helped us build a strong foundation. So we have an amazing IT team, and I'm excited to see more makers using Power Platform within the organization. Yeah, if you have any questions, we are happy to answer.
Babs, is your voice back? doesn't look like.
Ah!
Oh, there he is. Oh, that's Ryan. I'm sorry.
That was me.
Okay. It's like, oh, he's coming in. Okay.
I'm looking at the chat window coming in as well. Oh my goodness. Storing in Dataverse using SharePoint. Lightweight. Yep. No. You always want to look at capacity and then also what you can blend in with that SharePoint in the back end as well. From a hand method, I think there's already been a good trend started as well. So if you have a question, please feel free and raise your hand. We'll answer in order that we can, or feel free and type it in the chat and we can go from there as well. Yes. Deandra, go for it.
Yes. So as far as you guys supporting it, how this application that you built, how big is your team that is supporting this particular application internally?
So probably Susan.
I'll take that one. We have a team of 16 developers, but right now I would say there's only about 4 who are able to support the Dynamics and Power Platform. We're training more as we can. We're in the process of setting up future training. We hope to have our entire development team trained on the Power Platform, but right now, as far as actual usage, there's only about 4 developers.
You don't mind me asking, did you all give a time frame of how long it took you to stand this up from the point of, once you realized what you wanted to do, you had your specs, requirements, things in place? Was the time frame?
Anurag, from requirements to actual go live, was that about 3, 4
It's around
months?
3 to 4 months because
Yeah,
we
3 to
released
4
it.
months.
3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Both the internal piece and the external piece. Yeah.
But realize that this was our very first application, and we had some logistics of just Power Platform to figure out and set up since it was our very first one. We don't expect it to take that length of time for our next application development.
I was gonna say, we did the initial hackathon, guys, right, in December last year kind of thing.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
And
We
then-
used this one as a proof of concept, and that's how we got started. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and for us, this is Margie, there's even challenges just getting the licenses and getting the platform set up because there's another agent, there's an overarching technology authority agency so some of that, we learned a lot through that, kind of getting
Right.
all that set up. But yeah, Jeff was very
Yeah.
helpful to push.
Some of you guys that have to, if you set in a state tenant, you'll know what she's talking about there.
Yeah.
A lot of the upfront time was just getting everything figured out where we need to go the first time setting up Power Platform environments and stuff. So common across everybody, I would think. So
Yes.
Got it. Thanks for that.
There's something that always crosses my mind, and yes, I know I work for Microsoft, but this also is a community, right? This is our community together to ask this question. What challenges did you stumble across, and how did you overcome some of them?
Yeah, I mean, since this was our first app, our main focus was to go through the low code approach. But like I mentioned earlier in the key lessons part, we were really keen on setting it up the right way because we focused on carefully setting up the environments, defining publishers, and creating managed solutions. All of this was not planned initially. So whatever in the workshop or the sessions, we concentrated more on developing or exploring all the components within Power Platform rather than security governance or admin piece. So we did it, and then we realized, and then we had to go back and redo it a little bit at least. So redo it with a different publisher, and came up with the dev UAT production environment kind of setup. And then so those were all the challenges I would say initially, and also license management. There was a lot of trial and error there. We didn't know like what was given to us with one of the license, and then we had to go reassign and explore all the different combinations to see how it works, because we also carefully wanted to manage the licenses. Yeah.
Like you said, I think that did eat up some of the what I was calling requirements time, which we already mentioned, was just really walking through all of those. So minus that, it was a whole lot shorter time to just build the app, right? But Manarac also emphasized building it right. It wasn't just building it fast, it was right, because like he also mentioned, we're looking to transition some of our legacy apps to this platform. So we needed to make sure that our tables, the data structure was right for us wanting to follow the individual from A to Z, from beginning to end through their DBHDD journey. So we're looking at not just this app, but other apps that we will transition to this platform, wanting to make sure that we set up the structure right to fit that long term.
Yeah, I think that's critical. What you all just mentioned is setting it up right. How not how can we do it, but how should we do this? And so by putting that in place and taking the time up front, it will expedite the initiatives moving forward, because to the time frame that you gave to do all of the work that you did, that's really great work, because what we suggest is that our customers and users do just what you did on the first time out, and really take the time to get everything structured right so they can move much faster moving forward. So nice to hear that y'all did that.
And another thing to
too,
add, right. Yeah, sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I spent a lot of time with Anurag and team as well. They're just kind of working on getting a data model and all that set up for the long term too, right? So that was important here too. So, and a lot of the stuff, I think moving forward, because we got all the environment challenges out of the way the first time, those kind of things, everything should start just escalating, which is what we generally see across our customers, right? But I think the big part was Anurag really working with me and spending time on understanding how to do like you said, the managed solutions, getting the data base right, and understanding that there's hopefully one source of truth for DBHDD, right? And not kind of sprawling, different tables and building apps that don't talk to each other again, right? So,
and I will say I want to thank Microsoft for being a great partner in what we're trying to do. Jeff has been a tremendous asset to us in starting this out and making sure we do think about it in the proper way and get the basics set up correctly. So thank you to Microsoft for that.
Thanks.
What I love as part of that too is I'm prior to Microsoft, I was a cop for about 15 years. And when we did all of our training, we think about some of those situations where you do have to move quickly, but also we have to slow things down to make sure that we're doing things right, secure in fashion. The quality needs to be there, and our accuracy needs to be important. IT is that same way, where fast is slow and slow is fast. So I love that statement, because we're trying to be intentional, especially around security and around making sure that we have perhaps the center of excellence, set up from the Power Platform. We have our dev folks that have the right access to it and can make sure that we're following through with quality as we look forward to publishing this. So as fast as technology is moving, I'm glad that that you were intentional about this application and making sure of that quality and that accuracy. And Microsoft, what I've learned from Microsoft is we want to move at the speed of what our customers are moving, right? So there are some that have huge dev teams and can move, relatively quickly. And then like in the space that I work in, the SMC space, which is a bit more of that small, medium corporate space, is we start leaning a little bit more on the partners, because we don't all have the same type of development staff. We don't all have, the same amount of IT staff to be able to support some of these movements that, come from the business to help us move things forward. So how can we start leaning on partners to help us get that time to value? And granted, we may say quicker time to value, but it's really just at your speed. So thank you for sharing that part of it. Anything else, Jeff or Ernest, at all?
Just wanted to ask anybody else on the call from the community that may have any thing that you're thinking about regarding processes and things that you're thinking about from an organizational standpoint that you're running into that may be stumbling blocks, roadblocks, or you may feel like this is a opportunity for you to really lean in and find out more about how we can assist or how people on the call can assist you to work through some of this?
Hey, this is Ram again from DBHDD. Yeah, I work with Babs and Anurag. In general, was thinking one point on Power Platform. There are new things which are being added, or let's say something was done in a way, and now it's a different way of doing it. So that's something which needs to be kept a tab on. So just wanted to highlight on that. And since we had Jeff as a resource for the agency, that kind of things we were able to fill in the gaps. So that's also is one of the aspect which need to be kept an eye on. And I think especially Power Pages side, anything new comes up or new way of doing things that needs to be kept a tab on. And I'm just putting this so that since this is a community, so they might be aware of it. And maybe Jeff, you can add something on that.
Yeah, I would say Ernest, Ryan, and I all see that as well. It's kind of coming out like a water faucet at times. As soon as something hits, we get asked from you guys on how to use it, what's best practices and stuff like that. So I've tried to say where possible to a lot of our customers, and we've had some do it successfully. If you could get a commercial tenant spun up with 1 or 2 licenses where you could play with things and see what's coming down the pipeline, may be a very helpful thing. And Ernest, you can probably add to that too. I know there's some offerings out there, but that way you can get to see what's coming, start planning what's coming, also test what you've got before it goes in, if that makes sense. I know not everybody can do that, but we've had some customers that have had very good success just buying literally 1 or 2 O365 license, standing up a commercial tenant and, having a Power Apps license over there and stuff that you could play with and see everything. And that way you're planning, because sometimes, a lot of times, I'm going to be fair, it's probably 6 months or so before something goes from commercial to GCC for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And so that gives you an opportunity to plan and just play and see what's coming. And sometimes it may be, hey, let's hold off another month or so. This is going to be introduced. Does that make sense, Ron? And everyone?
That's a good approach. And yeah, that needs to be kept on tap for a specific example is we do have some applications specifically where we have to do it to enhance model structure. So
yeah, I think even in y'all state, y'all can ping even in y'all state, I think somebody successfully done that. So it is possible. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
How easy was the adoption once you got this up and running? How easy was the adoption of your staff to this new application that you guys built?
Perhaps I want to speak for you here. Say up front, they were excited to have a solution delivered in a fraction of the time. So they were eager to learn, but the training was pretty straightforward for them, easy to use. And I think the simplicity of the user interface, they loved. So I would say it went over pretty well. We didn't have any major issues with adoption, just with, I'll say, one virtual training we had done with internal staff as well as the external partners, and they were able to use it with very minimal issues or concerns. And Anurag, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, just like Fumi mentioned, it is an ongoing process too, because we're like in the initial stage of adopting. But one thing, if you had observed on the previous slide, one of the word that said standard UI. So when it comes to model-driven Power App and Power Pages, I think if user gets comfortable with one of the application, it'll be easy for them to navigate other Power Pages site or even other model-driven apps, because it's all same, the navigation bar and the layout. So it's kind of friendly, but yeah, it's very different from custom web application development.
Good. I would say there too, that again goes with if you develop a standard as you move forward too, because everything you roll out is going to look and feel similar. That will help. And for me and Anurag, y'all's audience was what, internal users, but then what, court clerks, judges, or what was the?
So
Are we trying to-
internal users and providers, right? And
providers.
providers, right?
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. I think we can definitely identify with that. That's a great comment. The last thing I personally have for a question for DBHDD is what's next on the horizon? And this could be dynamics, low code, whatever, but what's next on that horizon for you as you know that you've accomplished this and things are moving forward? What's kind of some of the next things you're looking at?
Susan or Anurag, do y'all want to
Yeah.
take that? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you're we have a lot of legacy applications, and let me explain. Up to this point, our focus has been siloed approaches to agency issues. So we have an app for this, an app for that, you know, just spread out kind of all over. So our approach for the future is that we have one individual who may be in many different parts of DBHDD. So we need to know where that individual has been throughout our agency, not just, you know, in the hospital or in a forensic program or community program. We want to see everywhere he's been. So we're moving from that kind of siloed approach to a focused individual approach holistically throughout our organization. So our plan is to start with this base of information and work from this app outward so that we just add into what we've already created so that we can see the entire history of an individual. So we have a lot of legacy apps we'll probably be converting over to Power Apps because most of our business is case-based. It's some kind of case with an individual. So we're looking to bring all that into like a one world kind of thing instead of all these separate floating applications all over the place. And our next focus, Anurag is working on an app that we use to service deaf individuals. So he'll be working on that one next. Fumi, do you have anything to add, or Margie, to that?
So I think the only thing I was going to say is I do think Jeff really helped us look at it from that individual centric. And I think you said that, but that really was important so that so that we really could follow that individual, as you said, on their journey through our agency. So it looks like there's a question, but I think that was the only thing I think just to highlight that really, so the basis for what we did started there.
I love it. Thank you.
DeAndre?
Yeah, I was just picking back off what you were explaining about what your future goals are. In case, like in my case, I know we have a lot of on-prem systems that are older that probably take longer to modernize as as we're talking. So do you guys potentially have plans of using connectors to connect to those on-prem systems potentially until you're able to get them to where you can get them modernized, but you can still access the data?
Yes, and we're currently doing that in the jail-based restoration program. We are actually using a connector to SQL Server to pull some data over.
Oh, great. Are you guys just pulling the data over and storing it there, or are you pushing data back to it to update records on that side?
We're just pulling data in. Currently, we are not pushing back updates yet. That is something they want us to do, but we're not totally sure that's the approach we're going to take. Our forensic program it's it's a high priority focus of our commissioner right now. So there are a lot of different programs and changes coming for forensics. So until we know what the grand plan is for the next couple of years, we're not going to pick one way or the other just yet. We're just kind of in a holding pattern right now to see what his vision is for the next couple of years around forensics, because it's going to be a major focus.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it. We are 7 minutes to the hour. If there are no other questions, I'll take over the slide presentation. Thank you so much for coming forward and first of all being willing to speak, but also when we think about, like, there we go. I gotta make sure my presentation is up the right way. There we are. But as we, think about this going forward, of course, my brain working at Microsoft now, I heard, how do we also help, deaf in our community as well, all about accessibility. And, there are so many tools on the Microsoft platform that can help address some of this as well, even down to speech to text, or perhaps even taking that text and making it audible for someone else, that, or perhaps even translating into a different language as well. So there are so many different cool resources that are coming down the pike, especially into their GCC platform. Ernest, anything else? Oh, and I just realized I'm not sharing, so let's try that. There we are.
No, I think we covered quite a bit, and I'm just excited that the community is leaning in and realizing that there's tons of capability through the platform, and I'm really hoping that you all will take the time to explore it, and that you will use the resource that you have in us to help you do it. And so we're here to assist. We are here to be transparent and share with you the pros and cons, and find a way that's going to be best for your business. And that's what we look forward to doing. We both come from state local government, Ryan and I, so we understand we've walked a mile or two in your shoes. So we understand the importance of really maximizing the time that you have to be able to assist the internal, external customers that you have, whether it be residents, whether it be other members of your business. And so that's what we're here to do. So looking forward to having that conversation with you and your team, and our respective counterparts doing that as well, that support your individual account. So glad to be on the call and be a part of your team.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and conclude today. Stay tuned. There will be more information coming out on our next DUG4GOV meetup happening in December. So please watch your emails from your account executives or from in the community as well, that our next meetup will be in December. It'll be a special guest, so I'm actually looking forward to hosting that one as well. Otherwise, take care. I've been Ryan Dorheim, and also Ernest and Jeff from Microsoft. Take care. See you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.